Welcome to the Scene Snobs podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to the Scene Snobs podcast. How are you today? It's Tuesday night, and I am Mick Manhattan, your host. Thank you so much for joining in. And I also want to say thank you to everyone who listened and watched last week's episode and responded to my intro. Thank you. I really, truly love and appreciate all your support. I'm feeling much better now. I will tell you, as far as this program is going, mental health is an important thing to take care of, and you should be taking care of it. So keep that in mind and do that however you can. If you have to search out programs like this to help, if you have past traumas, stuff like that, go and do it. Find yourself a therapist, things like that. So I think it's for everyone. But I am not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about some fun stuff. We're getting into pop culture. We're getting into the Oscars. We're going to be asking the Absurdity Wheel a bunch of questions. And we have a couple of reviews that we haven't had a chance to get to yet. So I'm very excited to be able to do that tonight. Now, as you guys know, the man is behind the scenes, but I got to bring him out. He's usually running the boards and taking care of it all because he's the producer man, producer Paul. Let's bring him in. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are you, Mick?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. I'm excited, man.
Me too. I like your shirt there, buddy.
I know. Thank you. And if you like our designs, you can go and pick this up at snobsmerch.com. And we have many other designs as well.
Pretty awesome.
So this is one of my favorites because they have a nice fabric for this, so it just feels real good. But
I'm not trying to mess this up, Mick. Am I coming in choppy to you?
A little bit, but I can hear you. You're coming off like responding, perfect timing. So not worried about it. No, you're all good, man. You look good. Even when you freeze, it's like, oh my God. my little beautiful Guatemalan pool boy.
Hurry up and get a pool, Mick.
Dude, do not push that. Mary is like we should get a pool. I'm like, where? Like, no, we're not doing this. I don't want to do this. No pool.
Mary, I'm on your side. Let's get a pool.
I've had one before. I don't want to take care of them anymore.
That's why you got me. I'll just drive up there.
Pool boy.
Once a week, I'll come up there, take care of all the chemicals, get the leaves out.
Hey, man, I told you and Sam to come up. You guys are going to come visit. But guys, so I wore this today. Now, Paul wore this because he loves the shirt. I love my shirt too, but I wore it specifically today because the Oscars was this past Sunday, and I've been outspoken about the Oscars for a very long time. Now, I did watch it this year. I haven't watched the past 2 years, but I did watch it this year because Godzilla was nominated. And if I'm going to watch it, to see Godzilla's, win the award, because as it deserved to many awards, but whatever, we're not going to get into that. I'm going to hate watch the rest of it. And while I hate watch the rest of it, I am going to admit there were some very fun parts to it this year. The overall show wasn't good. I could point out a lot of bad.
Okay.
But there were some really good, memorable moments for Oscar history, I will say, in this year. So there was a very cool scene where, for visual effects, actually, for Godzilla coming out, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito came out to the nominations. They read the nominations, and as they go off, they're talking about how they both were Batman villains. And then they start interacting with Michael Keaton. You okay, man?
Yeah, sorry. I was trying to fix the choppiness because it's killing me.
Oh, I mean, you're good, dude.
Okay. Sorry.
No,
it's
driving
me crazy.
I'd rather do the show and make it a good show. That's it. I don't care how it looks. All right. So getting back into it though. I was watching the Oscars. Anyway, they had a lot of bad moments, and I'll talk about those. And because I know, Paul, you haven't watched it, but I think you did. You said you saw some of the clips and stuff. So we'll get to those in a second. But I think my biggest issue with the Oscars is kind of how it all plays out. It's very much about the actors. It's not very much about anybody else, especially below the line crew. And short films, documentary, all of them, it doesn't matter. Every actor award took like 10 or 15 minutes where 4 different celebrities or 4 or 5 different celebrities are each gushing over 4 or 5 different other celebrities, you know, ones that have won versus one. And then that's how they call the nomination. So it takes forever. And then when you have like the filmmakers of Godzilla or, you know, so many other films like the internet Zone of Interest, I think was the same. Like everybody kept getting played off for time. So like the music starts and I'm like, these are the people who don't have the star shine on them all the time.
Right.
These actors are the ones that are see, you're back, buddy. I love you. I love it.
Whatever.
So these are the people who like this is the night that should be celebrating them. Even the directors who are always behind the camera or the producers who you never see. But like especially the visual effects, the sound effects, the costuming, the makeup and hairstyling and everything, like the editing, like all of those people are the ones, and so many more. Don't get me started on how many more, but like those are the ones that should be shining right now. We should be listening to every one of their words. Those are the inspirational speeches. I've dreamed of this my whole life. I don't want to hear, I mean, no offense to Emma Stone, but like I don't want to hear her talk about how this is a dream come true. Well, it wasn't a dream come true when it happened the first time.
Right.
Why is the second time a dream come true? How many dreams do you have when you get an Oscar? and that's great, but like I would love to hear her talk about like in her roles, like, you know, maybe what other kind of movies she wants to see or what she wants to work on, or you know, that sort of stuff. Like maybe not politics, but like movie sort of politics.
I got you.
You know, because we just had WGA strike, SAG strike, stuff like that. Like, hey, you know, remember AI is not, you know, so like make statements like that in those moments that actually pertain to your business that means something.
Right.
You know, that's when I think those platforms for those big actors should be. Not this is my dream come true because it's the fairy tale and it's like, it's not. You won one 2 years ago. Like, come on. You're great. You're probably going to win about 50 more, and I don't blame you because you're fantastic. But why does it have to be a gush over everything? And then all of a sudden it comes down to like these people I want to hear from foreign countries coming in and like winning awards and talking. I want to hear theirs.
Right.
That's what makes me feel good. So I think it really, when they play them off, that really like irks me so much.
I get that.
And then, you know, Al Pacino coming out and just fucking it all up. But, you know,
I guess I didn't miss him this time.
No, he walked out and he didn't say anything about the nominees. He just walked out and goes, oh, thank you. Opened it up and goes, I see Oppenheimer. And everybody's just like, so we're not naming nominees or anything.
Fuck.
Dude, it was hilarious.
Now for situations like that, do you think they're very scripted, or do you think they have kind of free range to do what they want to?
I think they're super scripted.
Okay.
I think they try to keep it to a minimal of improv as possible. Like even all these jokes that Jimmy Kimmel's kicking out, like they're jokes from his writing team. Like, you know, like it's like these are all scripted. Like it's not all, he's not off the cuff in anything, like because everything down to a T they want it to go, but they're also trying to free flow some things, and it's not working because you can't trying to script everything. Let's think about it from WWE standpoint. WWE for a while, when Vince was like making sure everything was followed to this T, and like it wasn't free, like they couldn't do their own promos, they were all scripted, everything. It sucked. It became sort of a manufactured thing.
Okay.
That's what, the same thing. It's like, it just becomes this manufactured thing, but you can't, in this manufactured thing that you're trying to push, you have a big variable in the fact that there's a bunch of people there who don't want to follow the script.
That's fair too.
Because they're getting drunk or they're celebrating because it's like they're up for an award or whatever. Yeah, so there's always going to be kinks. Like Al Pacino just had a kid at 83, so he probably walked out there and was like, "I want to go to bed."
Right.
So it's just like Oppenheimer, and then walked away. He didn't care.
Yeah, he's just trying to get in and get out.
Yeah.
Damn.
I think they just don't know how to make it prestigious anymore. It's too tough. Like the prestige is in the idea that like, so you want to make movies, right?
Right.
The prestige is in the awards you win for the movies you make in starting out.
Mm-hmm.
It's not in somebody who's won 13 Oscars.
Right.
It's like, it's just not that there's no prestige there. Like you want thing that people want to see is the dream. They want to see the people come up. So like that's why it just falls flat, because it's became this thing where it's like, we're the stars. It's not about the movies. It's not about the crews. It's not about it's about the stars. But we'll talk about that stuff too.
Okay. Right.
Just be that. Just be that. Just say that. Just make it about you guys and leave us alone.
Right.
Stop sticking your thumbs up our asses and telling us it's fucking lollipop. Right?
But maybe it tastes good though.
Not up there. I'll tell you that much right now. But there were some highlights.
Okay.
All right. Godzilla 1. That's highlight number 1.
Yes,
Danny DeVito and oh my god, I fucking loved it. I was so excited. Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger going back and forth with Michael Keaton was cool over Batman.
Yes.
That was a cool improv moment. You didn't expect that to happen, but Michael Keaton played it well. Then you have I don't know how you haven't said this yet. You have I'm Just Ken.
I was so happy when Gosling decided to sing that. That's the one clip I saw. Absolutely had to see
performance of a lifetime. That dude rolled out, and dude, I was talking to my wife about this. I think the reason Gosling is like king of all of them, like the Chris's, the Ryans, all, is because Gosling truly doesn't feel like he's trying.
Right.
And like he acts like, no, he does. He tries when he's performing. But like the cool guy attitude, the laid back, like clever, funny guy, like everyday man sort of thing. He doesn't look like he's trying. He just does whatever. Like even Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds is a character of himself. Right. Like, and that's fine. And people have done that. John Wayne built a character, built an empire on a character of himself. So it's like there's reason for it. But like all the Chris's, everything else, like they've become these sort of like just these characters of themselves, like to be movie stars. But Ryan Gosling is just a movie star because people genuinely fucking like him, and he's very good actor.
Yeah.
Like it's an odd situation because like it doesn't happen that way. But for him to step on stage, because I just truly think he doesn't care. Right? Like he's happy, like he's super in love with his wife, he's, got his family. He's chilling with his family, sitting there. And then rolls out and in a pink suit.
Yes, sir.
It was wonderful. Like he knocked it out of the park. That is a top 10 Oscar moment in my opinion.
That's awesome. And honestly, when I saw that clip, that made me want to start watching Oscars, because I was like, that might actually make it worth it for me to watch. Until you brought up Al Pacino. There it is. Just no.
Like listen, we're gonna get to like 100 years of it. It's at 96. At least we're gonna get to 100 years. But for me, I'm so fed up with the Oscars. Like even this year, it was abysmal. Like those small highlights aren't worth how bad the show is, in my opinion. And even like And we'll get into it when we get to Oppenheimer, but the narrative of why I think Oppenheimer won is sort of a conspiracy theory, but we'll get into that portion of it. But yeah, it's just the Oscars for me. They just never land. There's always something where they just always fuck up something. So
now, do you think you'd ever be able to do like a shorter an episode where you fix it, kind of like you've done with other movies where Mick fixes the Oscars?
How would I fix the Oscars?
Yeah,
they wouldn't. Well, okay. So, okay, this is a good question for you and me. Nobody else cares, I'm sure. But and I don't even 100% sure you're on board. I think you just asked the question. No,
I was just curious.
Okay, so if I'm to fix the Oscars, so first of all, are you asking me from an ideological standpoint? I'm butchered that word. From an ideal standpoint, are you asking me? That's stupid. Are you asking me from that point of view? Because if so, I don't give a fuck about the actors. Let's celebrate everybody behind the camera,
right?
Which is what it should be, because they have SAG awards.
Mm-hmm. Right,
and they have the Golden Globes, and they have so there's other awards. The Oscars should be about filmmaking and the whatever. So let's just do it for the fluff. How would I fix it so that way it would actually be a good show?
Yeah.
Well, you have to time it. Everybody's always complaining. And then listen, how would I fix it is one thing. I'm just going to offer fixes, fixing the entire show. Like, I don't envy any of these directors, producers of the Oscars. Again, it's the variables of the people.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it's always going to go haywire and calling things because something's always happening, something somewhere, and people it's a mess. People go the wrong way, or this happens, and it's just a nightmare. But you got to get more coordinated with your people. Gotcha. I think it's stop playing people off. Yes, I understand it's for time. So figure out how to cut down on time. Stop praising the actors as much as you do. It's fine if one person comes out and says, and the nominees are blah, 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 blah. Because you know what? People loved watching the Oscars in the 90s. And why did they love doing that? Because people just came out and just said, on the Oscar, and here are the nominees, and the Oscar goes too. And that was it. And then we got some fun dance and stuff in between, and that was that. And it wasn't, and we had comedians hosting, Jimmy Kimmel's fine, but he's not his monologue. He's not stand up, in my opinion. It just doesn't work. It felt like he was trying to be like Ricky Gervais, but like every man Ricky Gervais, and it's like, what are you doing? I did like when Emma Stone, who I still feel bad. I kind of picked on her before with my analogy, because I do like Emma Stone a lot. I think she's a great actor. She leans over to her husband after he made a joke about her, and he calls her like a fucking prick or something. It was hysterical. And I love that too. I love that we're showing that more. Like, people calling back at more so women, because men do it all the time. But more so the women doing it. It's kind of cool to see. It's kind of fun. But because they never show that shit. But it is it's kind of cool to give it back a little bit. But especially when I don't really care about the host. But
yeah, there you go.
So it just how would I fix it? It would take a lot. But if I'm on the spot, you got to get your hosts who are out on the floor. You got to get them coordinated, because they were very uncoordinated. You have to get your sound guys coordinated, because I always hear sound issues with raising between the levels, that are on TV versus what's going on in the orchestra, stuff like that. You got to get your levels right, because hearing muffled hosts talking and sound blaring and people walking, it's just too much. That's terrible work. So you got to get that coordinated. They need to practice this more run-throughs if they're not doing that already, but for some reason. But on the night, I mean, anything can happen, and that sucks. But it happened quite a bit. So like I would have to go back and I would say watch the last 5 or 6 years, which
Okay.
I'm not gonna do.
Right.
Because that's an intense amount. Like if you paid me to watch them all and say, okay, how would you fix this? I could do it.
Right.
I think, yeah, I could like really truly like, give me like 6 months, watch everything, really plan. I could come up with a good plan. I don't want to though. So I don't want to rewatch all that stuff. Not invite Will Smith. That's rule number 1. They've already took care of that.
Oh my God. What a fun year.
I didn't even watch that year.
Nope. I just saw that clip.
Yep,
Of course,
that was it. Like
everyone
I
saw that clip.
all of a sudden my phone started buzzing. It was like Will Smith slaps. I'm like, oh, it has to be a joke. I was like, they're friends, but
Right.
whatever. All right, let's. I'm tired of the Oscars. Let's. You asked a good question, but I don't want to talk about the Oscars anymore. You have you want to spin the wheel?
Yeah, let's spin it.
All right, so let's hit it. See what number we get. Picked a whole new bunch of topics.
Ooh. Now I'm nervous.
Yep. It's like Paul's got a strip if. 26, baby. Let's see what number 26 has to offer. Paul, what's your dick? No, I'm just kidding. Oh, I like this question. What's the most confusing movie you've ever watched? Oh, I mean, Lynch is definitely up there. Like, I know, but which one? They're all sort of.
You know what? I'll tell you what was confusing to me. And I'm probably gonna sound dumb, and people are gonna crucify me for it. But Tenet confused the shit out of me.
Ooh, yeah, that one did confuse the hell out of me too.
I had to read articles about what was going on, you know, what other people's take was, and watch some interviews and rewatch the movie. And then I was like, I kind of get it, I guess, but I'm still like, I just don't talk about that movie because I'm gonna be dumb every time. I'll be like, I don't know, time travel.
But it's not. It's like time travel backwards, and it's so. I got it. Like, again, Tenet was just a tough one. I'm sorry. Tenet is a tough one. Tenet is that might be the most confusing movie I've ever seen. You're not wrong. That might be because, like, I get it. I know where it's going. And it's funny because we're going to be doing another Nolan movie tonight. But it does. It kind of pisses me off.
Yeah.
About because it's thinking, why'd you have to say that movie, man? I was thinking David
because
Lynch,
it's confusing.
That's my problem, though. Whenever you have Christopher Nolan write a movie by himself,
right?
This sounds bad, but I don't want to be mean, but like he's so full of himself when he writes it. Like it almost becomes like look how smart I am.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
We get it, dude. Like, you know, you're very smart for sure.
Right.
But when you write it with somebody else, like there's more of a story element. You know what I mean? Like,
right. And that's where, for like you said, when he has a co-direct, you know, when he has someone helping him with the writing and all that, I think it still shows complexity to the storyline, and it's thought-provoking as far as the movie, which I enjoy. But I don't want to have to scratch my brain out just trying to figure out what the fuck is really happening or has happened. And Tenet, I felt stupid. I don't want to feel stupid watching a movie. I watch a movie to get away and enjoy myself, not
hands down.
I just botched the calculus test.
Nobody should, and that's the thing. Like, I think Tenet takes it too far, in my opinion. Tenet, whereas Interstellar and Interception and Tenet, I would put them on the same plane as movies that are fucking really smart. Let's just put it that way. Really smart. Not saying that none of his other movies are. They are. But like, I'm talking about existential smart, like really philosophically smart movies that when people watch them, I think it enhances them. And I do think Tenet has enhancing qualities if you are into it. So I can see if like people really understands the science that goes into what they're talking about, the theory of it, because Nolan is a smart dude. Nolan is going to write based on that. And but it's too, like, when I say it's full of himself, it's like he's showing how smart he is. He's not telling a great story.
Right.
And Interstellar, as much as I love that movie, I don't think that's a perfectly formed story. But then to bring it back to
Inception.
Yeah. I think that is a fantastically done story.
Yes.
But I think each of those, because they deal with different sort of aspects of theory in a lot of ways, like dreams, and they all analogies for different things, but like Interstellar was, of course, space and astrophysics and whatnot, and then Tenet, I guess, with time travel. I guess it would be considered time travel,
Yeah.
or like just the one that Nolan has adopted. Yeah, like that theory of like time travel that he adopted that works. But here's the thing: I didn't like Tenet, but I did like Tenet.
I get that.
There was parts of it that I'm like, this is really interesting, but it's not. But I didn't like the story. I'm like, this is. I mean, but the story to me is like, it just doesn't work, and it's weird, and it's. But filmmaking wise, I think it's beautiful. I think it's fantastic. But that's I think he just needs. I think he needs a good writing partner to kind of shape up some stuff.
Yeah, make it for the everyday man or us peasants.
Yes, I'm with you on that. Get your brother in, like like your brother really helped with that. Like your brother, I think, adapted screenplays to a point where like he did get like. That's why I think Inception. I think they wrote Inception together. And then did they write that together? No, it was just Christopher Nolan.
Really?
But I mean, I'd have to go through exactly with Christopher Nolan with his writing, but like he does have some good ones. But like even Inception, I would put that above in it's sort of like in that full of yourself sort of. I'm very smart, and it's like, yeah, we know, like we know you're smart. Nobody's denying the facts, or like trust me. Yeah, Jonathan Nolan helped write Interstellar.
Okay.
And then Dunkirk was just Christopher Nolan as well, which I have some issues with Dunkirk too. But I mean, I don't know, like some of them just seem a little too out there. But we'll be getting Oppenheimer though, which I actually think is a return to a beautiful form. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, that's probably it. Tenet. A long way around on that one. Tenet's probably the weirdest movie. So good call, dude.
I got
it. Paul knows, man. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. I just go along with what Paul tells me.
Get a pool.
38. All right, let's see what number 38 has in store for us. This is the story of a girl. No, I'm just kidding. Which movie do you think has the best opening scene? Oh, that's a tough one.
That is.
How? Because like immediately in my head is The Dark Knight, but then immediately my head jumps to Back to the Future with the clock ticking. And that whole, like, because it's just iconic. And then, but there's that's really a tough one, man. If you guys are watching, man, hit us up in the comments. We'd love to hear it. But
God, yeah,
it's a tough question, dude. I got a whole new list tonight. I got I made a list up of AI of top 100 movie questions to ask your best friends.
Okay.
And like, I figured, AI came up with some good ones. So I feel like AI is going to be a friend, not a ruler. They might have to shave some of us off, to help populations and whatnot. But
I think if I had a name, we'll say like kind of my top two, right? So top two would be I really enjoyed the newer It movie intro with Georgie.
Yeah, I mean it outdoes the original. Like the newer, first chapter outdid the original in a lot of its elements.
Yes.
But I still maintain that I like watching the original more. But that opening scene with Georgie it's devastating. And it came out around
right.
Dude, oh my God. It came out as my wife was pregnant.
Oh wow.
And like I had my stepson, and then like my wife is pregnant with my son, and I'm like, oh my God. I almost like wanted to be like to Tommy, like, you can never let him go out in the rain by himself.
Right.
Dude, you want to hear something crazy? Because of that movie and that scene, we in the house we were living in, we had a storm drain, like it was in the middle of the road, and where the runoff would go. And I told them that there was an evil clown in there and not to go near, and they never did. They never went near it. They were like, no, the clown's in there. Don't worry, I'm not going in. And they know now, of course, but like, hey, Jason's here. What's up, Jason? Thanks for joining in, brother. So, Jason, the question we're asking right now is, which movie do you think has the best opening scene? So
my number two is two movies technically, but they're.
So why don't you have a 2 and a 3? It doesn't have to be ranked
because they're right there. It's going to be A Quiet Place Part 1 and Part 2. Those intro scenes fucking grab me by the
Part 2.
Oh my God, Part 2, Mick. That opening scene just like there are a couple parts that kind of grab me.
I saw the opening scene where she's driving backwards. I saw that because they released that like on YouTube. No, maybe I got sent the screener of it.
Okay, lucky.
I don't remember how I saw it, but I saw it when it was. It looks. I mean, I'm trying to remember. Oh my God! Yeah, the opening scene. Well, is that an opening scene?
They guess don't say A Quiet Place Part 1 or Part 2 till after those scenes, so I count it as an intro.
Okay, that counts then. That first one is hard.
Oh my God! Yeah, the kid. Fuck, man. I'm sitting there like, no, like. Jesus.
Oh, and that was another one that came out like right after I had my kid, and I watched it. And I was just like, "You gotta be kidding me, man!" A lot of those movies messed me up. I think I need to go with more optimistic ones.
There you go.
There's the opening scenes. Like, listen, I would say like people probably want you to say The Godfather. People probably want you to say like, but they do. They have great opening scenes, but like they don't have those pow opening scenes that really like knock the door down. They're opening scenes that like they're iconic because the movies are iconic, but not like the things that are really like we're talking about, like things that really set the tone for what we're about to see. The Terminator 2 opening scene.
Okay.
And even Terminator, like when they crush the skull, that's an awesome opening scene. There's so many good ones.
There really are.
There's so many good ones. Look at Forrest Gump, the feather.
Yeah.
Look at like that's an iconic. Oh my God, Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah. Fuck. Oh, and then The Matrix. Everyone knows that intro. Everybody.
Yeah. Dude, there's so many iconic opening scenes. And I think we sleep on that sometimes.
Yes.
I really do think we sleep on it because we often talk about end scenes and I think the ending of a movie, if it's really good or really bad, really invokes how we feel about it overall more so than the entirety of the movie. I truly believe that. I truly believe if it has a poor ending, you're going to leave not happy or fulfilled. If it has a great ending, but it wasn't a great lead up, you're going to leave with oh, okay, I liked it, sort of vibe. Like, but if it had like a good lead up to a great ending, you fucking love it. You're like, this is the best. So that's what I've always felt that way about movies, especially trilogies. Like I've always felt like people hate the third movie in a trilogy because it's the end. It's not supposed to come back. It's not supposed to just be done. And people don't like when the story's over, right?
Right. Very true.
Yeah. So something like this, but like to think about the opening of scenes, man.
There are a lot of great ones.
Oh, God. Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Another one. Well, I mean, you could really like Tarantino, just any opening, but let's see. Jason says, I love the opening scenes of Ace Ventura, Tommy Boy, and Zombieland.
Zombieland. That's a great one.
That was a
Metallica
good one.
too. The Still Slope, man. Yeah.
Amanda, thanks for joining in. Appreciate you.
Hi, Amanda.
Jason says Inglourious Basterds is one of my favorites. Oh my God, that is a top 10 opening scene. It has to be a top 10 opening scene. It's the same reason so many people don't like the series finales or shows too. Yeah, that's true. If it's done really well, if you spend 10 years with a show and that series finale is done to a point where it's like you have to make a series finale not for everyone. You got to stop trying to make them epic. You have to make them for the fans. Every series finale I've ever seen made for the fans are the ones that land perfectly. But when they try to make them like big and spectacly, it never lands, and people are just like, that was dumb. Or if they make them for themselves, like this is how we wanted to end it. It's like, hey, you got to end it for the fans. That's how people are going to love it.
Yep.
So that's always been my feeling anyway. So
I'll tell you an intro that tripped me out was I think it was 2013 Friday the 13th.
That was a good one. That was a really good one too.
That tripped us out because at the time I may have been under the influence of certain things with other high school friends, and we were like, they're breezing through this fucking movie, man. They just killed off 8 people. Like, where are we going to go from here? And then it's the intro to Friday the 13th. And we were like, God damn it, man. Fucking with this.
Dude, it's just there's so oh my God, iconic Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Damn. Yeah.
Oh, that has to be it, right?
Yeah, with him running and
the music. I mean, Jaws is another one.
Fuck. Yeah.
Oh my God, dude, how did we forget these? The Lion King.
I didn't even go animated, but you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
There's quite a few. I feel like the longer we think about, the more we're going to come up and be like, yeah,
we're going to come. Oh my God. You know what's a really like epic one but in a sad way? Up.
Oh my God. Yeah. That I was not ready for that, man.
No.
And I was going, and what's sad is my friends took me to that because I had been going through a loss of a friend recently. So they're like, we'll go see this. It'll cheer you up. That intro just fucked up everything, man. But then they were like, are you okay? And I'm like, it's only going to get better from here. I hope so. We're fine. But that was so sad.
It really was, man. I'm right there with you, brother. Lethal Weapon 2. That was a good one when they come out in a car chase. That was a really good one. Trying to think of what a good time to talk about today's sponsor, Shopify. What's up, guys? So Shopify is the sponsor of today's episode. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring us. And guys, check them out. Do you want to start your online business? Go there and check out their free trial by hitting the link right down below in the descriptions. And then you're going to get your first month. You're going to get a trial period for free. And then you're going to get your first month for $1. That is pretty awesome. So get started. Start your business today. They will help you from beginning to end all the way through. Shopify is awesome. And let us know what you think. Tell them the Scene Snobs sent you. All right, guys. We got to get into it. We're rounding out towards the end. And we talked a lot about Nolan. And we're going to talk about Nolan a little bit more. Just a little bit more. And you know what? I'm happy that we're gonna be able to talk about these movies.
Yeah.
We're start with Barbie. Because I have a lot to say. So here's the thing. All right. I've seen Barbie 4 times. And I'm gonna and I'll get into why in a second. But I've seen Oppenheimer twice. I saw it once when it came out in theaters, and I saw it again today prepping for this.
Okay.
And when we get there, I just wanted to state that fact. So, but I've seen Barbie 4 times. Now, the reason I've seen Barbie 4 times is the first time I saw it, the movie, I don't know what it was, and I had to place my. It was purely analytical. I was trying to figure out what it felt like. I felt like sort of bad after watching it the first time. Not attacked. I didn't feel attacked. I felt bad because I was trying to figure out, who am I in this?
Okay.
You know, how am I represented in this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I figured out how I think I'm represented in this, it kind of made me sad because it is sort of a trope in movies that I'm not a fan of. Again, doesn't knock off points or anything for this movie because it's done a lot. So it's not like it's something that they made up. So I'm not mad about it. I just wish it wasn't something that's true. So like the good guy, the guy who is supportive, the guy who is like, you know, I'm a good husband. I'm supportive. I'm loving. I'm I'm attentive, you know. So like, where's the good, but not to a point where it's like, can't do it alone. I got to do it with you. No, like encouraging, sort of like, you know, so like, where's that guy? And I'm not saying they have to be overly represented. I'm not saying they have to have a Ken or anything like that. And then I found out who that character was in the movie. And I was cool with who the character was. And finding out the backstory of why the actor played him, it was even better. But still, I wish he wasn't written the way he was. I felt a little bothered by it. I don't want to say offended. I wasn't offended, but I felt a little bothered by it. And that was America Ferrera's husband in the movie.
Okay.
I was like, I guess he's representing sort of like the good guy in this, like the guy who isn't patriarchal, the guy who isn't like, he's a loving father, loving husband, you know, trying to, because I mean, in it, he's trying to learn Spanish. So what that took to me was he has a wife who speaks Spanish and a daughter who speaks Spanish, and he wants to connect with them.
Right.
So that's how I took it but it was sort of played as a joke. And I'm like, and now it was kind of funny to find out that was the real story of America Ferrera found out that she got the job in Barbie. Her husband was in the other rooms learning Spanish.
Oh,
and that guy is her husband.
Okay.
In real life. So like they played out the scene, but like even later they kind of played a joke in the movie. So like that, I think that's why the first time I watched this, like I kind of felt bad. And then I went back and I was like, all right, I'm gonna open it up a little bit more. And I've watched this movie 4 times to like sort of understand it from a filmmaking standpoint. I know it seems like excessive, but when there's movies that are polarizing like this, and I don't fully understand them on the first go, or they make me feel so, I need to watch it a few times to really try and pick up in as much as I can. And I do that with a lot of movies. And this is no stranger to it. And every time I've watched it, it got better and better. I understood more. There was more representation than I was not understanding of many things. And it was a geniusly written movie and filmed movie. This, I think, is a fantastic top 100 film of all time.
Okay. I could give it that at least.
No, now I've spoken quite a bit. And I would like to hear what you have to say, my friend. You go right ahead.
Let me Paul explain why this is a shit movie. No. So my thing with Barbie is I tend to be surrounded is the wrong word, but I have people in my life that tend to be a little more on the far right. So I heard all the negative things about this, that, and other about the movie. So I kind of went in wondering how over the top it was going to be on certain subjects and things like that. And after I watched this first time, I was like, I don't know what the fuck any of you are talking about, because you clearly didn't see the movie. And I don't see how you picked out, X, Y, and Z as being a problem. Like, obviously you're hypersensitive about something, or you're looking for a problem with this movie. So my second time is when I really got to enjoy it. Because the first time, I was trying to look because I have people in my life that are willing to watch it, but they had heard too many negative things from friends saying, it got too political, yada yada. So I was really trying to watch it for them just to be like, all right, what is this something that would bother them, yada yada, and it didn't. So second time being able to watch it with them was quite enjoyable. Because I do think it was a good movie. I love the music because I love musicals too. I'm Ken Enough. Beautiful song. Brax and I sing it quite a bit in the car. Not gonna lie.
That's I mean, but that's it. Like honestly, like it's such a it is. It's a real. I think it's a really good film. And like, listen, it became political because honestly, anything that deals with immigration, black people, or women, right now in any sense is just so touchy. And I'm talking about from like the far right. It's weird. It's like we got to attack it. It's weird. So like and I'm not attacking anybody if you're watching this and you're far right or you feel which way or the other, but like from a filmmaking standpoint, I don't care what you feel or what you've heard about this movie. Like it's a really well done movie. All the way through. And I like that. That's what I'm judging here. I'm not judging your politics. I'm judging what this movie was representing in the world that it was building. And it's fantastically done. And smart writing. It just is. And so like I'm respect the fuck out of this movie for sure.
Absolutely.
And James MCD review says, no offense to Billie Eilish, but I'm Just Ken should have won the best song. I do agree, especially after the performance they put, but I get the votes for for that. All right, let's give our ratings for this one. So, Paul, you went a little lower with this. I went with 4.5. You went with 2.5. Is there what about it for you brings it down to middle of the road?
So I just put it middle of the road based on like, would I watch this every year? That plays a part in my ratings. This is one that I've watched twice, unless somebody's like, I really want to watch Barbie. It's not going to be my go-to. I can agree with you. It's probably top 100 best movies of all time, but it's not Back to the Future for me. It's not, Ready Player One. It's not any of these movies that I could watch almost on a monthly basis. So I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that it's just not. It's not my favorite movie.
No, I get it.
But so yeah, I just put it right down in the middle because for me, I thought that was fair.
I love it, and that's great rating for it. And like because I understand where people like that sort of stance on it, and movies need that. And when I say I love it, I mean I love that there's a difference of opinion where it's like, okay, this wasn't for me, and you can admit that, so it's middle of the road for me. But like for me, even take away like it, I think it's a beautiful story. I think that tells a really good tale, and it doesn't pander, whereas it more than it just. It almost recognizes, like the movie's recognizing more than pandering. It's representing more than anything. So like, and it's not like all the in your face, like the patriarchal stuff. It's done in tongue in cheek in a fun way where you're kind of like, I mean, if you just like shut up about it for 5 seconds and stop screaming about like, they hate the patriarchy and that's all this movie is, like, you see, it's like, all right, that kind of makes sense about some things. And it's kind of funny. Like,
Right.
Maybe let's not freak out and like calm down, but Ted Cruz can't do that. So whatever. And then, but everyday good Americans, even if they believe one way or the other, like I just don't think they feel like that. I think this downfalls more like blowhards on the media. And then some people, of course, pick up on it and it becomes a soundbite. But ultimately, does anybody really fucking care? Like we're movie fans. So like I get like why this is such a big deal for us. But like, go see Barbie and just enjoy the goddamn thing. Who cares?
Right.
And another one that you should go enjoy is probably Oppenheimer.
Yes.
Okay. I have a conspiracy theory, Paul. I think I know why this won Best Picture.
Why is that?
It needed to. Because think about it. Barbie and this were the biggest movies of the year. Barbie being the biggest, right? Barbie has a lot of great takes on social issues that need to be discussed. but God damn it, we have people at war right now, and the fingers are on the buttons, and we need Oppenheimer to save us. We need more eyes. So everybody's like, I don't want that.
Right.
So there you go. Again, the Hollywood elites are writing the narrative, and it's probably a good thing. So this time around, it's probably a good thing. No, I want to thank you. Like I think you pick these, right? Didn't you? It was me or you?
It was kind of both. We had talked about it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So so thank you for that, because I don't know that I would have given this another chance. And here's the weird thing: it's a beautiful movie that's made for a big screen, right?
Yes.
And it was fine on the big screen. I enjoyed it. But 3 hours long, I get tired in the big screen.
I get that.
Watching it at home today, it blew me away with so much more.
Okay.
Having more of I think this is a movie where it's having more of an intimate connection with it. I think there was so much emphasis on the bomb itself,
right,
and the practicality of the bomb, and how he kind of made it work in the movie. We forgot this movie isn't about the bomb. This movie is Frankenstein,
right?
And in such a beautiful way, and it was such a great character study that we should have been focused in on that. We really should have been and that's why I think it works so far at home for me. Now, I'm not saying it shouldn't have come out in theater, but I really I got to intimately connect with everybody's role in this while I watched it today. So it really raised it for me in a big way. Again, not that I thought that this is a masterpiece film. It's really well done. I love how he wrote it. His 3 acts put together is fantastic. There's a lot of drag on, in my opinion, that we could have probably cut to certain things that didn't need to be 3 hours. But and I'm not gonna lie. All right, this is last part, and then I'm gonna let you go. That bomb was boring.
Yes.
This is your turning point. Now I understand he wanted to do the biggest practical bomb, but listen, I felt shivers down my spine in Godzilla -1 when he hit that, when the nuclear explosion went off. And the reason being is because a nuclear explosion should be a terrifying thing. And that's the whole point of your buildup to all of this. In that whole first half of your movie, the explosion scene, for anybody who hasn't seen it, is the culmination of the turn from this man who's obsessed with science and doing something so groundbreaking and has never been done before to help protect his country from this force of the Nazis. And then to turn around and then see the bomb in action, realize it's not going to be used against Germany in any way, shape, or form. And not that I'm saying it should, but now it's all second thoughts. He saw the destructive power he created and he set forth. And the rest of the movie is about his fight to destroy the monster he created. It's a beautiful film, but you gotta hit me. I'm sorry, Christopher Nolan, you did not hit me with that explosion. I saw it on the big screen. It didn't hit me there. It was a dud. It didn't hit me here at home. I need something bigger than life, so scary, not realistic. I need something so scary and monstrous that I know why he made that turning point. When I watch those Bikini Atoll scenes, in movies when they play them back in the day, the old footage and stuff, it's terrifying. Old nuclear explosion stuff is terrifying. It's so scary. You're supposed to look up at it, not look directly at it and look like, oh wow, that a bunch of C4 went off.
Right.
That's what it felt like to me anyway. But anyway, I drolled on again. Please, Paul, tell us.
You're good.
What do you think of Oppenheimer?
I loved it. I thought the storytelling was really good. I enjoyed that they went kind of more of a personal route with Oppenheimer, sorry. And talking about his life. I think if anything, I understand that, he was a womanizer. I kind of differ than some of my moviegoer friends to where I think if I want to see a lot of sex on the screen, I should just be looking at certain sites, not in a movie. So I think they could have done it a little more delicately of just breezing through that instead of just, Florence Pugh and a few of the others just going to town I get why it was in there 100%, but I'm also like, I don't feel it was absolutely needed to be to that extent.
Mhm.
And that kind of took it down a few ratings for me just because of that, I can't watch it with Braxton. I'm not about to sit next to a kid watching that go down. Which sucks because it's a great movie, but once he's older, we could.
Yeah. Well, my rule on maintenance of kids. Like, you should save certain movies for certain ages because they're never going to
Right.
understand them until that point. And I will tell you, one of there's 2 or 3 scenes that it's funny. Like, you get all this emphasis on the explosion scene, and that was such a dud scene. But there are 3 scenes in this movie that are masterpiece scenes that just perfectly shot scenes. And you get the in the beginning, well, you get the montage in the beginning, which is just fucking beautiful. But really what it comes down to is the scene where they are interrogating him, but he's sitting naked with orange
Right.
people.
Right.
There's nothing sexual about that scene.
Mm-mm.
It's a beautifully done scene about 2 people talking, and then when it gets to the point where there is actual sex happening in a room full of people, and he feels, but the imagery and what it's representing is
Right.
sound. It's perfect. Like, you're like, he's completely naked in front of these people. It's just,
Right.
it takes, they're taking everything from him, exposing everything. And then she's on top of him, and like riding him through this. So like, it's even more exposed, like his dirty secrets are coming out. Like,
Right.
it's such a moving, well done scene. And then later, after they've dropped the bombs and he's giving the speech and he's snapped, like, he doesn't believe in this at all. And like, he's just, his world is like almost becoming the bomb,
Right.
now all around him. And as he's walking out, he's listening to the screams as they're cheering for him. He's
Yeah.
listening and seeing all the horrors of everybody scared and hurt and over this, and listening to the screams that sound like they're coming from the
Audience.
bomb
Yeah.
lines, so it's really masterfully done. But yeah, so let's give our ratings for this one. You got any more for this one you want to talk about?
But I mean, just visually, it's absolutely stunning. The cinematography was spot on. I think as far as acting in a movie, I feel like everyone gave 100% in this. I didn't seem like anyone was kind of half-assing or wasn't trying to act, which was really nice.
Yeah, no, just fantastically done. And we both were right there. I think you gave it a 3.5 and I gave it a 4. Wonderful, wonderful movie. I don't know if it's top 100 movie of all time for me. I'd have to reevaluate it, but again, a few more watches to really understand that. But I think it's a fantastically done movie. And as we're going through, before we get to the end, let's read some of these comments you guys are kicking off with. I liked Barbie, didn't love it, so I'm around a 3.5, but need to watch it again. Out of the Oscars movies I've watched so far, Poor Things and American Fiction are my favorites, but I've only seen 4 of the 10 so far. Yeah, there's some good ones. Still need to see Oppenheimer. James MCD Reviews says it was a safe decision to have Oppenheimer clean sweep. I really liked it, and the categories that won were well deserved. There were just some of that should have gone the other films. I don't disagree. I was glad to see Emma Stone win. I thought she was incredible. Admittedly, I haven't seen them all yet. We'll be fixing it this week. All right. Well, that's
There you
awesome.
go.
Well, guys, before we get going, I'm gonna end it with a mixed movie pick. So, guys, I chose from 1982 because that is my birth year, and unfortunately, I guess I will announce it. Tomorrow is my birthday.
Oh yeah! Happy early birthday, Mick.
Yeah, so I wanted to pick something fun for people to watch on my birthday. And from my birth year, and I didn't just want to pick like E.T. or The Thing or like these really recognizable 1982 movies. Conan the Barbarian is a great movie that I think a lot of geeks really truly love. Movie fans love this movie, especially 80s heads. But a lot of people may not remember it. Actually, guys and gals and everybody in between my age might remember more so the idea of the second movie, Conan the Destroyer, because that was a more kid-friendly version. So I think that was on TV a lot more. Red Sonja was on. So I think that's really where, and I think the boat was missed a little bit on Conan the Barbarian with a lot of people. Go check it out if you haven't. I want to say thank you to my wonderful co-host on this magic carpet ride, Paul the man. You were awesome. Thank you for being here and being part of it. And I want to also say, yeah, man, dude, you it's always good to have you here. So I also want to say thank you to Shopify, our sponsor. I want to thank Carolina Fear Fest for always sponsoring us, taking care of us. We have a new Discovering Horror out. Season 2 is here. We did the Lost Boys. So go check that video out and more. Of course, Carolina Fear Fest celebrating 5 years of fear. Go check them out. It's a link down below. And they're selling their tickets, so get your tickets. Everybody's going to be there. We're looking to have a really good time. Paul, you want to tell them a little bit about Carolina Fear Fest as we're getting closer?
Man, Fear Fest, the closer we get, the more exciting it is. It's a great place to be around some of your favorite actors. You get to meet friends. They're friends that, I only see at Fear Fest, but we recognize each other. We'll have food together. It's just a great time. The panels will open you up. You assume these people are all horror, and it's amazing how many people you just see as horror icons that have acted in other things, and this. You just don't register it. And it's fun hearing people talk about other experiences, and I just think it's a good family event. It's a good solo event. I don't think anyone ever feels like the outcast out there. I think everyone's always smiles and trying to talk about horror. So I think nothing but the best things of Fear Fest, and I think everyone should experience it.
Absolutely. Yes, we definitely, Fear Fest definitely holds the tenets of the Snob Nation community, where we accept everyone, regardless of who you vote for, what you think, who you worship, blah, blah, blah. You just come in, you hang out, and we're all cool with each other. And that's all about love. So with that being said, I want to say thank you guys. Remember to hit like, hit subscribe, hit that bell so you know other great episodes coming out of this and other great shows as well. Thank you guys again for watching, listening, being a part of it. Rate and review us wherever you are. Follow us wherever you are. Give us those likes because they really do help us go a long way. But guys, if you really want to help the channel, the Patreon is one of the best ways to do it. Helping us by maybe getting merch over on our snobsmerch.com. But helping the Patreon, there's a lot of perks available to it. I've started offering up classes and time, one-on-one time once a month for some of the Patreon perks to help with podcasting, help with social media marketing, filmmaking questions, things like that. You get personalized time. It's not like I'm selling you a some coaching tips or whatever. It's just like once a month we'll meet, we'll talk. You can ask me any questions. I'll help you build out whatever you need to build out. And it's just that extra piece. But go check out the perks there. But if not, you just want to support, all that money goes back into helping out the channel. We build up the shows. We got a lot of great shows building out to become longer, newer, and touch down on some things that I think you'd be really excited about. So I'm going to stop going on so long, but I'm going to say thank you guys. Remember to be kind to each other. Stay classy and take care of yourselves because that's important. Until next time, take care.